Hi Ted. I'm talking to the doctors and optometrists. You choose an IOL implant in a patient, you did the best of IOL power calculation, but you still land up with some refractive surprise, and you might be thinking what may have gone wrong in that case. So this refractive surprise analyzer actually helps you to understand step by step what could have gone wrong in that case. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you. Not only that, it is also going to help you in the second eye to actually taking into account the first eye refractive surprise, you can plan for the second eye. So I name it the refractive surprise analyzer, and second I will plan. Thank you.
So here's the refractive surprise analyzer. Um, and I will show you how to use this analyzer. So what is the implanted power? You have, say, for example, an implanted power in the first eye of 20 diopter. What was your predicted refraction? And say your predicted refraction was minus 0.50 spherical equivalency. And what did you achieve after the implantation? And if you have the subjective refraction, what is the spherical power that you actually achieved here? Say, and that is minus 1.5 diopters, right? So the calculator kind of shows you what is the actual prediction error, because you predicted for because you aimed for a minus 0.50 and you achieved minus 1.5, then your real error is minus 1.5 minus 0.50. That is minus 1 of myopic surprise. It is not minus 1.5 of myopic surprise. It is minus 1 of myopic surprise because you had already aimed for minus 0.50. Now the calculator is asking you to put in the preoperative K readings, and here if you have the say 42 diopters of K1 and 44 diopters of K2, then um, your mean K preoperatively is 43 diopters, right? And the mean K for the fellow eye, say for example, you found it to be 44.50 diopters. And the post-operative mean K, so you have implanted the IOL, you have done a pseudophakic biometry the moment you realize there is a large refractive surprise, you have and you found out that um, your your post-op mean K is say 43.25 here, right? And if you have the preoperative TK, TCRP, that's optional. You may put it, you may not put it over here, just to understand if there's a big difference between the preoperative K readings and the TCRP readings, that is the total corneal refractive power readings. So what it is now saying, let us see. Now, the moment you have put in these details, it is now saying that the 2I, there is a difference in keratometry reading, right? Normally, the 2I keratometry reading should be less than 1 diopter. So it is saying that the K symmetry is a yellow flag. Operated eye is minus 1.5 diopter versus the fellow eye. So you can see there's a difference in K readings. That's what it is saying, that the operated eye K readings are far lower than the non-operated eye, which is not typically seen in patients. Generally, it is interocular symmetry. It is less than 1 diopters, right? Around zero point 0.7 diopters. So real asymmetry is possible, but verify the pre-op acquisition tear film fixation before trusting it, right? So it kind of, puts a flag over here that your preoperative K reading may need to be validated, may need to have been more validated once you realize a large difference. It's also telling you that the minus 1 diopter of, you remember there is a minus 1 diopter of myopic surprise. That's your prediction error. And what we are seeing over here between the pre and post K readings, there is a difference of minus 0.25 diopters. and on the myopic side. So this could be within the SIN noise, and this may not have really contributed to a large -1 diopter of surprise. That's what it's saying. Now, preoperative axial length. What is your preoperative axial length? 23.50. Say, for example, the axial length of the postoperative is 23.20, right? And postoperatively find that the axial length is 23 say 56, 23.556. So what it is saying, it is first going to see the two-eye asymmetry, whether your preoperative operated eye axial length is matching the non-operative eye axial length, and it says that there is a large asymmetry between the two. So genuine anisometropia is possible, but this is also the classic footprint of a fixation or measurement error in one eye. So it could be really anisometropia, or it could be also that the patient was not fixating, and it could be an axial length measurement error. What it is also saying is the difference between pre and post-op, and what it's saying is that the difference is just very less, 0.06 millimeters, and this may not have contributed to the larger refractive surprise of -1 diopter. That's what it is saying. And then you have the preoperative ACD. Say, for example, I take the preoperative ACD of 3.0, preoperative lens thickness of 4.0, and then what is your postoperative measured actual lens position? It's not ELP, we call it ALP because that's the actual lens position of the patient. And say, for example, this is 4.50, and then it says that, oh, the predicted axial length position, it is 4.20. With this preoperative ACD and your preoperative axial lens thickness, your predicted ALP is 4.20. It has a built-in algorithm to determine that, and is saying that you actually have measured it as 4.50, your postoperative ALP. The IOL sits 0.30 millimeter deeper than the predicted. So at 20 diopter implanted power, that is 1.24 diopter per millimeter of sensitivity, pushing the outcome hyperopic. So you have got actually a myopic outcome, but this is actually showing a hyperopic outcome, right? Say, for example, if this was actually 3.50, then you actually have it is showing you that this could have attributed to the error, which is minus 0.87. And how do I find it out? That is because of pre-op ACD and pre-op lens thickness should have a predicted post-operative ALP of 3.5. Sorry for that. The predicted ALP is 4.20. With your pre-op ACD and your pre-op lens thickness, your predicted ALP or actual lens position is 4.20, but you have a measured value of 3.50, right? You have a measured value of 3.50. So the IUL sits more anterior, right? And with a 20 diopter IUL implanted, this could be the main cause of the error, minus 0.87. It also shows you the pupil. I mean, if you have a genuine anisocoria, 3 millimeters of pupil, and say on the other hand, you have a 5 millimeter of pupil on the non-operated eye, it kind of throws you that there is an interocular asymmetry of 2 millimeters, more than 2 millimeters, which is basically an anisocoria. And it also provides you a second eye IOL power suggestion based on what you have actually experienced in the first eye. Say, for example, in the second eye, you want to achieve a metropia, right? So what is your planned IOL power? The planned IOL power is, say, for example, 20 again. So this is basically showing you that based on your first eye absolute refractive error, you could actually go for a 19.5 diopter of power to hold the target of metropia. And this actually takes into consideration your first eye refractive outcome. So first eye refractive outcome with the 20 diopter, you will remember you had a -1 diopter of myopic prediction error, and therefore it basically takes that into consideration. And now that you have a second eye emmetropic power target, it basically takes that into consideration and throws you up a new power. I hope this calculator is going to help you, and you find this um, important, to kind of, reference this calculator so that it gives you an understanding of what could be the possible reasons of the refractive error and how you can plan for the second eye. And it could also be used as a teaching tool. This calculator is free in my website, quickguide.org. Thank you very much for listening.